Okay, so this is about motion detector lights. I saw a video earlier this guy made talking about how the motion detector lights with a tankless hot water heater, they flicker or they can flicker. And absolutely. Now he was recommending changing this thing out. This is 20, 30, $40. These are not cheap. And it really was a problem after I changed the bulbs. One of my bulbs in the other room went out. And like this here, even LEDs aren't unlike incandescent where the filaments are still intact, the LEDs, so it actually will still work without the glass there. We'll see how long. But so these are the old ones, and I bought some new Home Depot ones, and they were flickering like crazy. They were dimmable, they were LEDs, but they did not work with the motion detector for some reason. So I got some great values, dimmable, and these work great. They're in the other bathroom, but trust me, they do not flicker at all. They're working fantastically. Real quick, unless you can stick around, I want to talk about some other things related to this. Like, subscribe, follow, share if this helped you out, or somebody might help out. So I was saying with the tankless water heaters, if you don't need a tankless water heater, I would not get one. We got one because there were so many people showering, live in this house, showering constantly. I don't even think a tanked water heater, but we had a short boy 30-gallon, and there wasn't room for a tall one, and plus it's space where it's at. This home doesn't have a lot of space to begin with, so it really freed up an extra fair amount of space where that tanked water heater was. The other thing is these motion lights. I said I wouldn't upgrade this if you don't need to, unless you really like the motion. The other room, I have a motion where it's on the far side of the room, so it's super handy. But the rest of these I really put in because, saying back in the day with incandescent bulbs, you talk if these were 60 watts, you'd be having 180 watts your total. Now that these are 4.5 watts, so three of them together isn't even 20. So, I bought in case these bulbs didn't work, I ended up getting a paddle switch also. Any kind of switch I guess would work, but I ended up getting a switch in case it didn't, because I really don't need the motion. I had gotten it, like I said, because people, to save power and whatnot. So that's something to also consider. If you can't get bulbs that don't work and you really don't need motion, yeah, the simplest thing I would go to, rather than spending 30 or 40 bucks on another motion detector or dimmable one, is just go to a straight on-off switch, and that will definitely eliminate you. I had a light fixture in the other room like that, where it was motion activated and dimmable, but I couldn't swap the bulbs out. The style they were, it's just too much, and I didn't want to risk, so I just swapped it back out for a paddle. Like I said, I put these back in the day when they were incandescent. They costed a lot more. Now it's not so critical. With lights being as cheap, you pretty much leave them on all the time and use almost no power. Okay, like I said, earlier, if you stuck around, please like, subscribe, share, comment, leave a comment if and I'll try and answer as soon as I can.